want to take a minute, if I could, I don't know if you guys can maybe help pass this out. If everybody could grab one of these circles. Catherine, can you maybe help me? And I want you to take a minute and kind of reflecting on these 6 elements. And I want you, have you guys ever done a mandala? And maybe all of these will be represented for you, maybe only 2 of them, maybe 3 of them. But if you could take it and whatever portion, if work is the main thing, then draw work the main, and what percentage of that circle is work. If you had to take your life in totality, how much of it is spent on your career or work, and draw that piece of the pie the biggest. And then whatever composes the rest of what's going on in your world right now. If you had to do a pulse check and give us a little snapshot, what percentage of your time are you spending where? Okay, just take a minute. Everybody, does that make sense? Could. That might be under physical. And you can, if you want to label it more like personal relations, like family stuff or kid stuff, or if you want to get more specific. If you finish that, for each section, I want you to write 3 words, 3 emotions, 3 feeling words that go with each one of those pies. When you think about career, what are 3 words that describe that? When you just think about your personal relationship, what are the 3 words that come to mind when you think of that? So for each of those, 3 feeling words that go along with it. It's also interesting to reflect, if you were to do this 5 years ago, would it have changed? If you did it the day that you started practicing in the healthcare field. And if you think about, what's grown or what's changed it, what's maybe on there that wasn't there then, or vice versa. It's also interesting to think about your feeling words too. The words you associated maybe 5 years ago, would they have been the same? Maybe 10 years ago, would those words have been the same? So really the point is to really look at this and you really get a snapshot of where you are, where you're spending your time, and what do the words look like with where you're spending the bulk of your time. We have any brave people who might be willing to share a couple of them? Sally, will you share? I know you're brave.
Well, it makes me realize how much time I spend. My career and my financials sort of go together.
Yep.
And it actually shocks me. And so half of my, or more than half, or less than half of my circle is my protective stuff. So my hobbies, my exercise, my relationships, all that, I view that as protected for being able to do the work that I do. I also I'm surprised as much time that I spend staying out of it. I have real strategies for keeping that out of it, but right now, I only work 4 days a week. It starts at 7 and it probably goes till 8. And Friday's sort of a fluff day, whatever I want to get cleaned up, and then I turn it off from Saturday and Sunday. And I don't do work unless I'm having some specialness.
Can everybody hear Sally?
But that's how I've just done it, because otherwise I don't sleep, I don't do any of that stuff. And right now I'm sleeping, I'm eating fine, I'm running around, I'm happy right now for this moment. So, but that could change and you have to protect that to keep yourself going.
And I would dare say that the strategies you've implemented and what you're doing to protect yourself are allowing you to have a little bit more balance.
It does. I'm not totally consumed right now. And I'm lucky because I have a great spouse who is retired. So all those other responsibilities are gone. I can't cook. I can't make a bed. I don't know how to wash clothes. But my guy, he knows how to do it. And he knows the work. So that he's supportive of this and what I'm doing for right now. So that's really good. I'm lucky.
Anybody else willing to share theirs? Kathy?
I did a lot of what Sally did. A lot of these things paired for me. So I paired physical and hobbies because a lot of, my exercise is my hobby. I also knit, but I knit in the car if I'm not doing the driving, so.
That's a good thing to add.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll all be a little safer on the road knowing you're not
Exactly.
leading and driving.
So my husband was in the Army for almost 30 years. So my line is, I cooked the first 25, it's his turn to cook.
Nice, I like that.
So he has now what I fondly refer to as his big boy job. So he was in communication, so he has an IT job, so he can actually sit on the couch and get paid for that, amazingly. And so he also does the laundry now, and he fixes dinner. It might be ramen, but I'm okay with that.
Dinner's good.
I'm okay with that. He did a pork tenderloin the other day.
Excellent.
It's okay. And I did the same thing. I did career and financial together. I did personal relationship and spiritual together. So some of those things are together, but under career financial, I put satisfaction and frustration were my two words. So, and that's my biggest slice right there, because my 40-hour-a-week job is not 40 hours, and I'm salaried, so it doesn't really matter how many hours I work. So nobody really cares. And then my next biggest piece was volunteer. So, but in that, in the volunteer piece, I think I'm making a difference. And my biggest volunteer hat will disappear on the 1st of July, so that piece will go down just a little bit, and hopefully my personal will get bigger. But I'm going on vacation on April 17th.
Nice.
So that beach is looking better and better. So, and so some of these, the spiritual, personal relationship, I didn't have time to write 3 words. I only have 2 in each one so far. But the spiritual obviously is love and happy. So the words do make a difference.
And sometimes too, be aware, so I would guess almost all of us say career and work is our biggest one, right? And maybe we have some really positive, fulfilling, rewarding, changing lives, all those good things. But there also might be, you're coexisting with a lot of the stress in there too. So it might be sometimes the smaller thing, the smaller pieces, the spiritual or community involvement. But sometimes those may represent smaller, but those may be the things that really recharge our batteries and give us that fuel to go forward. Any other brave? Yes. Yes.
I'm following behind the other 2 ladies. Yes, the largest piece of my pie is the career. And I had uncertainty there because I'm nearing, I guess I should be nearing retirement, but the uncertainty is that what am I going to do next? I mean, I'm come from a life of, I'm 29 years in the military, but it was reserved, so I always worked full time. And so that ended, and then like, what do I do now? What, it's like an elder person, where's your work? I'm not doing this, so that's no longer part of me, like a lady having a hysterectomy. Am I a lady and am I a woman anymore? The stress is that I'm on call 24/7. I'm working harder than I had a practice. I'm working harder when I am with now than I did when I had my practice. It's a solo practice in the rural community. Physical is a very small portion, and I put word there, chore and ignored. And it needs to be refocused. That shows me that I need to refocus because I know that if I don't take care of myself, I won't be here.
Can you imagine if all those things were in a year? Maybe they were 2 years of their life. Maybe they were 5 years, but regardless, for the extended amount of time, that person hasn't had, even been able to see any of the positive up events in their life, that they're so focused in, it's like boom after boom, it's loss after loss after loss. And they exist. They could be in this room, they could be your coworker, they could be your colleague that you love and adore and you're so worried about, but they exist. Here's another one. They began practicing medicine, married, moved, was a stressor, got a job, had children, quit their job, weren't working, was a stressor, got a new job, juggling parenting and working, right? That goes on both sides of the line. Their kids graduated, goes on both sides of the line, mostly happy. Changed jobs, both sides of the line, mostly happy. The electronic medical records, learning technology was really stressful. Their practice got sold, that was stressful. They've got a super supportive spouse, hooray. They got a new boss and owners who don't know how to run their practice, that's a stressor. They decided to leave, that was a hard decision, they love this place. They figured out how to use technology. They love their new job. They're serving patients better. Does that sound like anybody, maybe Sally? All right, that's Sally's journey.
I forgot to throw in that mom died right at the same time that the quit job.
So one thing, you know, with Sally's that you see, and hopefully with life, right, it's full of, we know, we've all lived long enough to know, you know, that there's going to be the up lines, there's going to be the down lines, and usually, you know, there's that cycle that we know eventually the lines come back up, right? But sometimes if we go back, if we're underneath those, and there are lines, again, whether that's 6 months, a year, or the last 5 years, 2 years, that's a long amount of time. If that's, so I encourage you, and I've got some of these handouts, if you want to do it for yourself, to take a timeline. You can either start at the day you were born through today, or you can take, like I said, the day you started your professional careers through today. And it's just a really good thing. And the thing is, you know, with most of us, again, we've not only have we lived long enough, but we know when the tough stuff have come. Go back and draw when your mom died and you quit your job at the same time, what did you draw on to pull yourself out of it? What were those survival skills? Because they're still in you, and more than likely, every time you had a downline, there was something that you drew on to get through, survive, and to get another upline after that. So what helps? It's really important to know, what do you have control over? Because it stinks. When you don't feel like you have control and the world's out of control, that's a bad feeling. But your world isn't, even though it may feel like that from time to time, you do have control over certain things. So here's what you do. Where you work, right? You can change your job. You don't have to work where you are. Who you work for. If you don't like them, if you've got a bad boss, you're working for a bad company, you don't like their ethics or philosophy. Your attitude. We can control, you know, if it's creeping over to all aspects of our life. Taking care of ourselves. Again, are we eating? Are we exercising? Are we finding some balance, like we were looking at on the pulse check on the mandala? What are our relationships like with others? Are we prioritizing and nurturing those relationships in our life? Because if we lose those and we're underneath all that stress, that's going to be a very sad place to be. We can intentionally implement balance in our life or not. That's a choice. But we do have control over whether or not we are going to be intentional or mindful about implementing balance. So these are, again, when I was doing my big survey, all these next slides are advice from your peers on what helps and what they're doing. So this one, she intentionally schedules activities, even moments that strengthen her own mental, emotional, intellectual, physical, and spiritual health each day and often each hour, including creating a daily devotional that she shares with close friends and refers back to several times a day. She has 11 friends, to be exact. I took that out, but I thought it was cute. So she works out 5 days a week, often with her spouse, so that she makes sure that they're spending some time together, doing something together. Maintaining an attitude of gratitude for my life, my profession, and my patients. What helps? This is a different doctor. She sets times in her schedule to do things for herself. No emails after 7 p.m., kind of similar to Sally. She does that Fridays through the weekend, right? This gal, no emails Friday after 7 p.m. She says, I do get behind, but I'm still employed. She doesn't work at all on Saturdays. And then Sunday nights from 6 to 9 p.m., with doing nothing else distracting, she reads emails and gets caught back up. So before Monday, she's feeling like, you know, she's got a fighting chance. But she gives herself all day, you know, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday till 6 p.m. She said she's had to make peace and being okay with never being caught up. She says that when she blocks these times, that she is focused on in the moment and being present and not trying to multitask, but she is really trying to be focused, whether it's if she's working, she's working. If she's in her free time, she's in her free time. This is another one. 1 meal as a family that's not rushed per week. We've heard that, and it's true. For those of us who've done it, I mean, there's nothing that can really replace those quality conversations and intentional times of being with your family. Hobbies. For instance, when I was running the nonprofit, I used to love to play volleyball. I didn't play volleyball for the whole 12 years I was there. Guess what I took up afterwards? Volleyball. I mean, so again, what is it, that fills you or puts a smile on your face? And it could be different things at different times, but having those hobbies and, things that are just things that you enjoy are so critical. Read fiction, take walks, have lunch with someone. I know so many people in the healthcare world never take lunch. What a gift it would be. What just a break in feeling overwhelmed and the frenetic to go just mindless, even just to, drink in the sunshine for 15 minutes of going through the Arby's drive-through or something, but just to, to kind of get that mental break. And let alone having intelligent conversation. If you really went and had conversation with somebody you liked, wow, that's, that's, and interacting with others, obviously very important. What helps? Having the tools you need to do your job. Good IT, good team, and a good boss. I am taking better care of patients now than I was 5 years ago, thanks to the resources and team around me. What helps? What helps is knowing myself. My old job didn't feel good. The organization I worked for got bought by a big corporation. It took 2 years of trying to make it work before I listened to the internal voice growing stronger inside my head telling me it was not a good fit. I tried it, I didn't like it. I did not have the skill set to stay in the middle of the mayhem. I am now working where it feels like a small town again, and we are doing the right thing with patients and saving lives. Anybody been in that situation where they squash the voice, and it's telling them, and everything inside of them feels like, it's wrong and they've got to get out? It's really important to listen to that voice telling you it's okay, not everything is a good fit. And sometimes with change, you try it out, sometimes it's for the better and you like things better, and sometimes it's just not for you, so you have to intentionally take that risk and get a new place that's a better fit for your needs. Any thoughts on that? Does anybody, can we nod? Do we acknowledge that that's pretty powerful? There is a way to have a life if you are a member of a team with a shared vision, a shared joy in achieving goals, and a good boss. It can give your brain a rest, allow you to take a lunch break, and leave at a reasonable time. And that's from Sally.
7. But still, it's been a huge transition for me. And it took me a little bit. And when I changed jobs, I was in the actuarial section of the organization. There was no one that looked like me sitting around me, and people couldn't talk. No one talked. I was the only one on the telephone. And getting this project started and getting things going and building a team. In that first year I had 5 different bosses. 5. Shoot me. And now I got one, and I've had one for probably 2 years. And she's just a wonderful team building person. She tells you when you screw up, what were you thinking? But it makes life just a better journey.
The key is better relationships. If you have good relationships, you will sleep better and have more fun. Again, these are still from your peers. The quality of the relationships with patients. It's not the payment for service or their dollar amount for service that carries you. It's the kind word from a patient that carries you. So these are some daily, what can you do, like little itty bitty things, little strategies you can implement on a daily basis, right? Step outside. When these nice days, when you're seeing the flowers on the trees, or you're hearing about how nice and warm it is, and we've forgotten what warmth feels like, and you're getting stressed and you just need a little mental health break, walk outside just to, stand for 10 seconds or a minute and let the sun hit you. Or take a walk around your parking lot one time. If you're getting stressed out, and let's say you're having, patients who are just crabby, or your coworkers or whatever, that it's just a negative day, maybe call a loved one and just say, I just need to hear your voice. I just need, what is it that's going to pick you up short term and put a smile on your face, right? Chat with a colleague. Maybe just say, I just need to, vent for a minute. This person's driving me crazy, or I've had 3 patients in a row who are non-compliant and just complaining and blah, 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 and it feels like I can't do anything right. Okay, now I'm good. I let it go. I can go back. Sometimes you need to turn it into a game and depower it. And I don't mean to minimize or make fun of it, but sometimes, how many people are, going to be late today? What's the over-under? How many people are going to be non-compliant on something? What's the over-under? How many phone calls am I going to get today that are going to distract me? And maybe have a little bet with your, your nurse or your coworker, you know, I got 10, or I got, you know, I got, and what does it do? It keeps it out here, right? Instead of like, you know, being frustrated and hitting us there, it keeps it out here. It depowers it. It makes you even kind of laugh about it, as opposed to, you know, letting it, you know, internalize and drive you crazy. Deep breaths. Go in your office, and have a little Zen moment. Channel Phil Jackson. You know, have a little Zen moment, but take deep breaths, deep breathing in your office. Just, you know, again, 1 or 2 minutes. I'm sure you can do that. Focus on a funny or a happy memory. Just even something that your kids cracked you up, or something that you heard. Or you can use my, you know, my son thinking my husband had a hysterectomy if you need a laugh. You know, you can use my story. Whatever it is, but you know, it kind of gives you that little levity. Focus on a future activity. Is there a trip coming up? You know, and kind of go to that place of, oh, you know, the Bahamas are only 62 days away. Or is it this weekend? Oh, if I could only get to this weekend. I've got a great weekend planned with my wife. Oh, you know, just 2 more days till the weekend. Or a theme song. What's the time, Sally? 1:15. All right, well, I want everybody, so who remember, did anybody watch Ally McBeal besides me? Does anybody remember Ally McBeal back in the day? Thank you, Rufus. So Ally McBeal, one of her coping strategies was to have a theme song. When things got tough, she went to a therapist who was Tracy Ullman, who was very irreverent. But she was like, you need a theme song. You get a theme song. You don't come back till you got a theme song. So I want you to take a minute on whatever piece of paper, or just even in your head, if there's a song, you know, and we talked about, you mentioned music being so important, and it is. Music can help us cry if we need to cry. It can help us feel connected to somebody. It can make us feel empowered. But if you had to think of what's your theme song, what recharges your batteries and kind of helps you keep your armor on, a little pep in your step, what is your theme song? So I want everybody to take like 30 seconds to a minute, and I want to hear your theme song. Oh, and there's already been one played over here. We might play that for everyone, and that is a very good one. All right, take 30 seconds to a minute. What is your theme song? Is it Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive? What is your theme song? You have one? Bob Ramsey has one up here.
Actually, I have 2. I like the theme from Top Gun and the theme from Rocky.
Ooh, those are good. Everybody got Top Gun and Rocky. Are they on your iPod? Do you listen to them?
No, I hum them.
You hum them? All right, that works. Say that. They're always with you then. The built-in iPod, your head, right? Dr. Epps, you got one?
It depends upon the day.
In the moment.
Depends upon the season. I sing my orders of Christmas carols. I make things up as I go along, much to the chagrin of the people around me. So, there's an X-ray in Pod C. We need a knee. Come on down. I love you so. It will be done excellently.
Nice. I like that. Kathy, do you have one?
I just do whatever he sings too.
Rufus, you got one?
You too. Beautiful day.
That's a good one. Anybody else in the back of the room? Karen Ransom, you got a theme song?
I do.
Will you share?
I can't sing it, but
You
it's
don't
the,
have to sing it.
It's the Ferris Bueller song. Anybody who's seen Ferris Bueller knows it.
Anybody singing in the parade?
No, no, the one's always in the background when he's doing stuff he's not supposed to be doing.
Oh, yeah.
Bow, bow.
Yeah, it's just word. I mean, there's no words, right?
Right, it's just a.
Dr. Delta, you got one?
I got a bunch of
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
give us 2 or
right.
3.
They're just old Grateful Dead songs.
Grateful Dead songs? Any Grateful Dead song?
Just old Grateful Dead songs.
Okay, excellent. Amy, you got one?
Well, when I was a kid, we did a lot of road trips back and forth between Virginia and Ohio, and we always listened to the soundtrack for The Big Chill. So anything on there, which is a lot of Motown and older stuff.
Kathy, go.
I like Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
The fireworks song.
Fireworks is a good song.
Yeah.
That's one of her cleaner songs too.
It is. It is. Yeah, there are some that I
Keep
skip
it a
over.
G. Keep it a G. We like it.
There are some that I skip over. Yeah.
What about this table? Liz, Sally? You guys got one? Anybody got a theme song?
How about We're the Boys of Old Florida? So I'm a gator.
She's a gator.
She's a gator.
She's still in.
She's still in it. What's it like to still be in the tournament? I can't remember. That was so Sunday. Sally got one?
Those big wheels keep on turning.
Big wheels keep on turning. Sally keeps on burning. She's
Proud Mary. But we all know that. Everybody that works on my team knows that song.
Liz, you want to play yours?
Sure, I'll go with.
This is a current one, but it's a great one. I want to make it my ringtone. I love this song. And over here, Pharrell, Happy?
Yeah, I was gonna say the happy song.
They're so good.
He has to like really pounce in water.
It's good for me too, yes. Happy by Pharrell. Dr. Rhea, you got one?
I do. I've had one for many years. And I'll give you a hint. It's the Temptations.
It's my girl.
Huh?
It's my girl. You sing to your wife all the time, right?
No, you're in the OR and things are just going totally haywire. And I just take a deep breath and I start singing this song. Ball of Confusion.
All right, what about you? Bob, you said you had a couple?
Well, how about Johnny Paychecks? Biggest job in Charlotte? No, I'm just kidding. No, Top Gun and.
Top, oh, it's right, you already said your two.
Yeah.
And
I have Amazing Grace is one of them, and then Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. Well, actually, Dolly Parton remake.
right,
Whitney Houston, I Will Always
there's a
Love
few of those variations of that. That's a good song. Nice. What about you guys? Anybody at this table?
Girls just want to have fun.
Girls just want to have fun? Awesome. Little Cyndi Lauper. You have one?
Or you can't always get what you want. You get what you need. That's what we say to our kids.
Yes. It applies in many instances, right? Anybody else at the table?
I like this one she has, the Pharrell's.
The Happy Song by Pharrell? How about the back table?
What?
Theme song? Besides Dr. Epps' made-up fun songs?
I don't know. We just sing what he sings. Just go with the flow.
Well, I would say that I Love Happy is my new one. One of my ones that used to speak to me, kind of pumped. It was Blackbird. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you're only waiting for this moment to arise. And Walking on Sunshine, there's something about, when she goes, she, starts saying that. You can't help but kind of like bopping along to little Katrina in the Waves. But I think, again, these are like little easy kind of short-term things, right? If there's one or two things, if you can go into a day and know, hey, if I get overwhelmed or if it gets really tough, how can I go to a happy place? What can I do to drain it off, to keep it going? And again, plan for being out of balance. It's a continuum, right? Nobody is ever perfectly in balance. So some things we don't have control over that are going to throw us, and some things we do. So these are, we know, end of the year kind of school things, and if we have people graduating in our lives, there's a lot more things that go on at the end of the school year, May, June, Mother's Day. I mean, it just kind of seems like it's a flurry, May, June. So if you can kind of plan those holidays, we know from Thanksgiving on to the end of the year, right through New Year's is going to be a crazy time. So what can we do to take care of ourselves or kind of to pre-plan? Major life transitions, again, if there's a divorce, a death, a wedding, a move, a job change. I mean, if there are the obvious life transitions, a health loss, a health change for somebody in your life, those are going to impact you. So how can you anticipate the ripples of those changes? Vacations, those are good things, right? But it's stressful to get out the door. It's stressful, all the details. Stressful to come back. Oh my gosh, how many, I have 800 emails waiting for me. Professional conferences and meetings, when we're gone, when we're at Our professional conferences, even today, I mean, it might be a little stressful to come back tomorrow. So how can you be good to yourself and kind of, do something nice at the end of the day or this weekend, knowing that tomorrow is going to maybe be a little extra stressful? Staying balanced. This is long term. Take time off. Maybe seek help from a coach. That's a really good thing that's growing, and to help have a professional mentor and somebody who's 100% pro you that's just helping you there navigate it. Consider a job change. Set boundaries. Learn to say no. All right? It's hard when we're all givers and servers of others and in a service field, but learn to say no. If you never say no, what is your yes worth? Be aware how you navigate change. If you are a person that, you like to do A and then B and then C, but just know, if things happen that are kind of getting crazy and you don't handle change well, to know when things start going on, getting hectic, that it's going to push your buttons more and you're going to get out of balance more quickly. So again, how can you get back, realign yourself? What are the things you can do? Humor, right? Humor is key. So funny movies, people who make you laugh, all these YouTube videos that the kids find them, saying, you watch this, watch this. Well, maybe you should watch it because they're pretty funny. And again, balance is a continuum. And of course, how could we not have something from Mr. Miyagi? Better learn balance. Balance is key. So take good care of yourselves. Thank you so much for being here. Be balanced, be happy, be well. And I thank you for coming. And next time, I've got more activities. I have, different games we didn't get to. There's more to come. But does anybody have any questions or comments, or does anybody have a strategy that they do, anything that they do that they would like to share?
So I read this one. I haven't yet had the courage to do it, but the idea is you go on vacation, then you come back and you got all this work piled up. So the concept is email amnesty. And while you're away, you declare email amnesty. And any email that arrives, your automatic response says, I am not checking email and I'm going to delete all email when I get back. If your issue is important, resend it after the date that I return.
Ooh. I think
Did everybody hear that?
Had the courage to
Email
try it,
amnesty. I like that. That's awesome. Anybody else have a little trick of the trade, some self-care thing that they do? Yes.
The comedy radio station, so I used to commit, they actually changed it to a sports station, but there is Pandora Comedy. But I would listen to that on my way home from work, or I listen to it if there's traffic. So I know people probably looked in the car and thought I was mentally ill because I was laughing so hard while I was driving.
But what a great release. What a great way
it's really,
to,
it's a lot of fun.
de-stress.
It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's
Anybody
Pandora
else have
Comedy.
something
Oh,
they do?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
My friend actually is a tax accountant, and their company brought in masseuses and they give them like 15-minute chair massages during tax season.
Oh, nice. Everybody hear that? Bring in a masseuse, a CPA during tax season, and they give chair massages to all the employees to keep them going because they're anticipating, right? They've planned that is a stressful season. It's not forever, but it's going to be really stressful during a time, and they're doing something to self-care. That's awesome. Rufus, you could do that for the whole MSV right before the annual meeting. Just a thought. Well, thank you again so much. I really appreciate your time, and I hope that you're able to implement some of these and that you stay well and balanced.